Hi Be Kinders, and today I thought I would show you my recipe for yummy gingerbread biscuits. In actual fact, today we're just going to make the dough because what I like to do in advance of Christmas is make my dough and then freeze the dough wrapped in a beeswax food wrap and then get it out Christmas Eve, let it defrost, roll it out, make the cookies with my children. So I think this is a good recipe in advance, and I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way with a pan on the heat rather than with a mixer. I know a lot of us don't have mixers, and I personally prefer the traditional recipes. I think they're tastier anyway. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to leave all of the ingredients in the measurements and the ingredients in the description box below anyway, but I will take you through this in case you want to pause the video and bake along. So in my pan already, I have 75 grams of soft brown sugar. Now I like the dark brown sugar, but you can use any brown sugar for this recipe. That's absolutely fine. I also have 2 tablespoons of golden syrup and 1 tablespoon of black treacle. And I have my heat on about medium because we're going to want to start to boil this down and cook this down. So my next step to add to this is 1 tablespoon of water. Turn the heat up a little bit. 1 tablespoon of water's just gone in there. And then I have my spices. Now I like to use mixed spice. I just find it easier. You can use separate spices, nutmeg, cinnamon, cloves if you like. This is 2½ teaspoons of mixed spice. So in that goes. Okay, and now we're just going to start to stir them. And on a relatively gentle heat, don't go too mad with the heat. I'm going to start stirring them all together. And what I'm looking for is I'm looking for that sugar to melt. Brown sugar actually melts much faster than white sugar, so it won't take long. And I'm looking for it to come to boiling point. Okay, you can see that's all amalgamated together now. I'm looking for it to come to boiling point, which I'm sure it will do shortly. While we're just waiting for this to cook, I am just going to mention that the beeswax food wraps actually can be used in the freezer. A lot of people don't know that, and they're quite surprised when we tell them that, but they're really, really good for this kind of in advance cooking or prep cooking where you want to prepare for the festive season. Okay, you can see around the edges now it's starting to come to the boil. Okay, so we need all of the mixture in the pan to come to the boil. It's lovely and glossy. There we go. So just capture that. You can see that all bubbling away and coming to the boil just there. Lovely. Okay, now we don't want to burn it. So as soon as it comes to the boil, all the way through, it's now boiling in the center as well, not just around the edges. I'm going to turn the heat off, turn the heat straight off, and I'm going to add my butter or margarine. It's up to you. This is 95 grams. And I'm going to carry on stirring. And the residual heat of the boiling mixture is going to melt the butter. Make sure that you cut your butter up into chunks. Don't put it in one big block because it would take a fair amount of heat to do that. As you can see, because I've cut mine into chunks beforehand, it's melting straight into the mixture in the pan, and it's gone really dark now and really treacly, which is just going to be really yummy when we do the cookies. Okay, so I'm pretty sure you can see now that the butter is all completely melted. There's none left in there at all. Okay, so now I'm going to add 2 more things. This is our last couple of ingredients. This is bicarbonate of soda, and this is ½ teaspoon. Okay, you don't need a lot. This is going to create a little bit of lightness and a little bit of lift. I'm just going to literally whiz that in. And then finally, the only thing we have left to add is our flour. This is plain flour, just good old plain flour, and this is 225 grams. You don't need to sieve it. Okay, I don't bother sieving mine. You don't need to. It's a biscuit dough. It's not a cake. Okay, and then literally just I'm going to give that a really good mix in. Okay. And what will start to happen now is it will start to form a dough. You can see it's coming together. Okay. All right, now this dough obviously is still quite warm and it's still a little bit floppy. You wouldn't want to try and make biscuits out of it the way it is. So what we need to do now is leave it. We just need to walk away and leave it to cool down. Okay, so that's about the stage you need to leave it at. You can see it is thick, it's not gloopy anymore, but it's going to be too warm for us to handle and too warm to make into anything. So let it cool and then form it into a ball, put it in your wrap, pop it in the freezer. I'm going to pop some photos in the description box of what mine looks like when I've formed a ball. I hope you enjoyed that and we'll see you again soon. Bye bye for now.